Today we got Super Warriors. We're halfway through the season. Actually forgot it was going on because we spent so many days just chest collecting. But now we got these guys. And if there was any season for Warriors, it's this one. But now the difficult part of the season should be gone. And another thing we're gonna do, which we thought about quite a bit, we don't really need turrets anymore. Just because now we got Super Warriors to really dish out the damage. But also, because we already have Kavan for a shield, having another shield, while still sometimes helpful, you can throw it anywhere, is sort of redundant. But there is one thing this season that we can't really do, and that's clear mines. Sure, we can use turrets, Super Warriors, and even drones, but their main advantages comes from distracting or damage. Whereas Crystal Critters actually do a great job, because you throw them and they walk towards your troops, also heal them up. Plus, if you look at the HP, that's quite a lot, nearly half as much as heavies are. So it might be a bit of a risk, but I think it's worth it for long term, getting crystal crits, helping to clear shock mines, normal mines, and still distract buildings. It is our second swap of the season we'll make right there. And I guess max out shock launchers have way too many tokens. But now, try some attacks. And the main way we're gonna use Super Warriors is just to take out a few engines. Here in this space, well, it's pretty nasty with some bunkers on this side, so we can just start on the right side, and then use Super Warriors for all this junk over here. In fact, maybe even doing some damage on this side first, and then just flaring up. Here we can do maybe a few Super Warriors, looks like start on the right side, and do one on the Floody, Cannon, Shock Launcher, and then maybe just distract the Boom Cannons a little bit. Can also take maybe one more Warrior, just as an added meat shield. And as far as these early bunkers, which I guess have nothing, only this one does, well, don't have to worry about. So I always like Kavan first, and then all the other troops. Get these guys going right here. Kavan first because his shield can get most of the stuff covered. As a Hoppa wakes up pretty soon, go ahead and shock it. And then just wait a few seconds. Maybe as soon as this Floody dies, and I guess the engine too, we'll do one flare on the right side. Can do another shield and some crystal crits. But now start the Super Warriors. Get a few going right here. And I guess we'll do a crystal crit first, because as I hit the shock mine, Boom Cannon distracted. Maybe one more drone. It is a bit tough because the cannon's doing a lot of damage, but it should go down. These Super Warriors looking okay, can do one more on this side. Now maybe just to shock on that Boom Cannon. Because the lasers up there are still alive, all of the Warriors died. So just taking some time, and as they clear the top, then these Super Warriors do the bottom. Here we might need one more shock, but I think we'll do Crystal Crit instead. Otherwise over here, want to do maybe a shock on this side. And just taking some time to finish off right here. And on the top side, lasers going across the base. Hope the damage is enough. One more Super Warrior on that shock launcher. We got some more support coming. And I guess as it gets pretty close, just flare the last engine. We can even do that flame first to do a bit more damage. And then finally, get the last engine down. It's not a great time, but with the amount of defense he had, maybe it's okay. So we still use some Super Warriors to clear a few engines, but we can see the time right here. And like we thought, because he had so much defense, our time still worked. I guess the other idea on this base could have been using Super Warriors maybe just for the top, and then using all these abilities on the bottom. But especially with all these bunkers, I think it's better to use Super Warriors on these guys, just so your own lasers don't have to worry about. And I'd say tomorrow should be even easier because we get 50 more troop health, 8 extra shock mines, and 50 more troop damage. Which especially means our Super Warriors just pack that much more punch. Because with more stats, we can even do crazy things like Super Warrior all 3 of these engines. But because we don't have the offense yet, you gotta just stick with lone one on this side. Here we can maybe just do 2 Warriors, because there's not much splash here to let the Warriors get vitamin boost. And as far as these mines go, we can even do a crystal crit all the way here, because they'll go all the way down, clear a bunch of mines for us. On this kind of base, I like shocking that Flotti right away, and just let things go. Again, we'll do Kavan first, drop everyone a bit on the right side with a shield, and as we get pretty close, do one shock on that Flotti, followed by just one crystal crit, all the way on those mines, but they're gonna go down and there's some more for us. Here we'll maybe do just one more shield, just in case for those mines. And as this engine goes down, just do one flare on the right side. One to flare pretty much any building. Now we can do like 3 super warriors on each of those cannons. Now, not enough GB, so we'll just save a bit for maybe like shocking that shock launcher. Just waiting a few more seconds. I found that shock launcher, really want that Flotti down too. Let these guys go, Dr. Vitamin putting in some work. And as we get some more GB, just in case, go ahead do another shield. Super Warriors finishing off the left side. And as far as everything else goes, just let these guys finish off the left. Can flare a bit early because we already got Super Warriors on that side. And then it's just the last engine. You're getting, looks like around 245, which doesn't really seem like a bad time. There's still a lot of moving parts, but for most bases like we just saw, I like that style attack. We can check it out one more time. Because you already know you want to use Super Warriors on one corner, but you don't throw them right away because GBE is pretty tight. Some point down the line we can get maybe some more GB, but right away you want to make sure that your beginning troops just stay alive. Again, Kavan kind of on the right side and dropping him first, because if he's in the middle then you know his shield is going to cover everyone. Then there's usually a Flotti over here, so shocking it right away. Plus if there are any mines, even shock mines right there, one crystal crit is all you need. In this case, there were some more mines that those lasers would probably die to. If you have extra troop health, maybe don't need to worry about 2 mines, but we don't, so better be safe. Then we just do one flare on the right side. I like building flares because if you flare a building, everybody spreads out, and just more damage overall. Whereas then, now we know we have GB, so throw the Super Warriors. You want to do it right on the boom cannons because they slow them down. And then the right side is just waiting, and Flotti you want to shock again because it one-shots warriors, lasers. And even if machine guns slightly damage the lasers, Vitamin can heal them back up. Sometimes it seems pretty slow because lasers against just one building isn't that strong, but as we get more troop damage, shouldn't be too bad. And so far, I'm liking the Crystal Critters, think it has a lot of potential. And here we got a 5 engine, pretty nasty one. But here we can use Super Warriors and now Crystal Critters to help with those mines. On this side, Super Warriors alone might be pretty tough. So maybe we can still do kind of a split hit. Can do 2 lasers on the right side, but here even 1 Super Warrior can be enough for a bunch of this stuff. Because that shock launcher is in range, we'll do a drone for that mortar. And then just 1 Super Warrior for these guys, so we can delay some warriors on the left. This loadout seems okay, so just starting with some abilities. 1 Super Warrior, we'll do a drone and I guess smoke right there. And at least on the left side we can do maybe like 2 crystal crits, and still do a few smokes, but now drop most of the troops. Because then the crits start moving, we'll do maybe like 3 lasers right here. And as the warriors are moving up, you see those crits in action. We do want 1 more warrior for at least all his bunkers. And as soon as we get some more GB, can maybe do a shield. So get one right now, protecting all those lasers. And now just do a few normal lasers on the right side. Left side is more than fine, all our troops are alive. Whereas on the right we can do like, I guess 1 Super Warrior for the mine, later some more damage. And then just shock a bunch of stuff. Shocking that boom cannon right there. And then 1 more Super Warrior on the left side. Because all these 5 engines don't have that much HP. which means everything just does a lot more damage. We'll flare the last one right there, and still getting a decent time. And I never thought about crystal crits affecting even 5 engines, but guess it makes sense. We finally have a good ability just to clear mines. We'll still check that one more time. Because before, one idea of 5 engine attack was only use troops from one side, and then abilities for the other. Which I guess maybe you could have done here. Like, only troops on the left and then done like one super warrior on that cannon, one more on this one, and then just one shock in the middle. So there's a lot more options, but this one I think is still safer. Because we'll play the part where Crystal Critters cleared all those mines. And again, they have so much HP that they don't insta-die like drones. And I think that idea of melons does make sense just because, well, they have a lot fewer threats than warriors or lasers. Because right now the biggest threat are flotties and even normal mines, machine guns, mortars. Whereas if we have melons, they can outrange most buildings. And still do Kavan Shield, Crystal Crits for distraction. And the less GB we need to support troops, the more GB we have on Super Warriors. But here we got this guy, which we can do a pretty similar attack. Do Super Warriors on the far left, and then just all our normal troops here. And even for these shock mines, Crystal Crits do a great job. So I drop everyone right here, get a shield going right away, and one shock in this flotty with one critter. Here we can do just maybe 2 Super Warriors, probably 1 drone 2 in a bit. So as the Super Warriors do the thing, get a drone going. And on the left side we'll let these guys go. One more shield cause got some lasers doing whatever they want. And we can even flare a bit early, because we have some more Super Warriors to help out. We'll do one on that cannon. It is a bit annoying because those other cannons do a lot of damage, so we'll actually just wait a bit and do 1 drone to finish it off. Otherwise, right side, let these guys go. Vitamin doing his thing. And then some more Crystal Crits just to clear all these mines. Get stuff going here, more shock mines to clear, and then just flare each engine. We already got some Super Warriors on the far left, so it's just about flaring the last few. These ones go down, again Super Warriors to finish off that one. So we flare this very last engine, spam a bunch of drones. And again, it's not the best time, but getting around 245. Now he did have the extra troop health, troop damage, so that does make a big difference. So it sort of makes sense, losing by a few seconds. And see what this guy did. And see the power of that extra troop health and troop damage. Because one, even those mines aren't a huge threat. By the time tomorrow comes, maybe find a new sort of base. But Super Warriors dealing with this side. And I guess these warriors finish off going left and help that side out. But even that little bit of damage, when lasers are on the engine right at the edge of the map, every little second counts. But pretty happy with them so far. At least if you haven't hit diamond, maybe a good chance to get there. And then tomorrow, we should have just enough keys to get those boosts. Getting everything from troop health, 8 extra shock mines, and some troop damage. After that, we gotta decide between starting to save for building health and melons. We probably still won't get heavy chops this season, or at least anytime soon. And the other option is starting to save for 7 engines and Rudy. Maybe not Rudy, but at least 7 engines has a really good deck. But whether it's worth it as opposed to just getting melons first, again, we've yet to find out. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.